Let us now understand the fourth model from averages, where a new person joins or leaves the group. But to solve these type of questions, we first need to understand some important points related to average. Let us understand that. Let us assume there are four persons A, B, C and D, and their weights are given as 32 kgs, 46 kgs. Let's say C's weight is 25 kgs and D's weight is 57 kgs. So we have got four persons and their weights here, that is 32 kgs, 46 kgs, 25 kgs and 57 kgs. Let us first of all find out the average weight of this group. We know that average is nothing but sum of all the elements by number of elements. So that should be 32 plus 46 plus 25 plus 57 divided by 4. So 32 plus 46 is 78, 78 plus 25 is 103, plus 57 is 160, and 160 divided by 4 is 40. So we can say that the average weight of the group will be 40 kgs. Now one important point which we need to understand here is what happens to the average when each of the elements given here is increased or decreased by a particular value. Let's say each of the element is increased by 5 kgs. So the new values would be 32 plus 5, that will be 37, 46 plus 5, 51, 25 plus 5 will be 30 and 57 plus 5 will be 62. Now the average of the new group will be equal to 37 plus 51 plus 30 plus 62 divided by 4. So 37 plus 51 is 88, 88 plus 30 will be 118, 118 plus 62 is 180, and 180 divided by 4 will be 45. So as you can see here, when each of the elements was increased by 5 kgs, the average also has increased by 5 kgs, because the previous average was 40 and the new average is 45 kgs. So very clearly, when each element is increased by a particular value, the average also increases by the same value. Similarly, if each of the elements is decreased by one particular value, the same operation has to be performed on the average as well. Let's say each element is decreased by 10. So we can say that the new average will be 40 minus 10, that is 30 kgs. So the first point here is, whenever each of the elements is increased or decreased by a particular value x, the average also gets increased or decreased by the same value x. Let us now understand the second point, that is, what will happen to the average when a new person wants to join the group. Here we already have got four persons with their weights, that is 32, 46, 25 and 57 kgs respectively. Let us first of all find out the average of this group. The average of this group, as we have already calculated, will be equal to 32 plus 46 plus 25 plus 57 by 4, which is 40 kgs. Now let us assume a new person, that is E, wants to join the group, and E's weight is 40 kgs. So what will be the new average for all the 5 persons together? To find out the overall average of all these 5 persons, we need not do the basic calculation, that is 32 plus 46 plus 25 plus 57 plus 40 by 5 is not required. Because we very well know that average is nothing but the equal distribution of all the values. Now here already the equal distribution for these 4 values is 40 kgs. And now a fifth person has come whose weight is equal to 40 kgs. That is nothing but the weight of the fifth person is equal to the average weight of the 4 persons. And since we are following equal distribution, we can say that E's weight is same as the equal distribution of all the 4 persons. So overall, for all the 5 persons, the equal distribution of weight remains same, that is 40 kgs. So we can directly say that the average for all the 5 persons will be equal to 40 kgs without doing any calculation. So when the weight of E is 40 kgs, the average will be 40 kgs for the whole group. The average of the group changes depending on the weight of the person E. For example, if the weight of the person E is more than 40 kgs, then the average of the group will increase. Similarly, when the weight of E is less than 40 kgs, the average of the whole group will decrease. Let us take some examples to understand this. Let us assume the weight of E is 50 kgs. Now what will be the average for all the 5 persons together? Again, as I've already mentioned, we need not do the basic calculation of sum of all the elements divided by number of elements to get the new average. Instead, we can find out the average directly by observing the difference between the weight of E and the equal distribution of the 4 persons. Here, we know that already the equal distribution for the weight of 4 persons is 40 kgs. Now, a 5th person E with the weight of 50 kgs wants to join the group. Here, the weight of E is 10 kgs more than the average weight of all the 4 persons. So, whatever extra weight we have, that is 10 kgs, should be again equally divided among all the 5 persons. So, 10 divided by 5 will be equal to 2 kgs. So we can say that the new average of the group when E's weight is 50 kgs will be equal to the old average 40 plus this 2 kgs, which is equal to 42 kgs. Similarly, we can find out the average of the group when the weight of E is less than 40 kgs. Let us assume the weight of E is only 30 kgs. Now as you can see here, E's weight is 10 kgs less than the actual average of the 4 persons. So we can say that we have got minus 10 kgs extra. That is, instead of saying we have got 10 kgs less, we are saying we have got minus 10 kgs more. Now this weight of minus 10 kgs should be equally divided among all the 5 persons. So minus 10 by 5 will give us minus 2. Since we have got minus 2, by subtracting this 2 from the actual average, we can say that the average weight of all the 5 persons together will be 40 minus 2, that is 38 kgs. So friends, as you can see here, the overall average of 5 persons when a new person joins the group can be calculated simply by finding out the equal distribution of the extra weight or the deficient weight of the person. Let us now take an example based on the model that we have just discussed. The question here is the average age of 39 students and a teacher of a class is 11 years. If the age of the teacher is excluded, the average age of the class is reduced by 1. So what is the age of the teacher? So as you can see here, the average age of 39 students and a teacher, that means for 40 persons, 39 students and 1 teacher. For 40 persons, the average age is 11 years. If the age of the teacher is excluded, that means when the teacher leaves this group of 40 persons, the average age of the class is reduced by 1. So we can say that the actual average is 11. When teacher leaves, it is reduced by 1. So 11 years becomes 10 years. And from this data, we are supposed to find out what is the age of the teacher. Now, one method of solving the problem here is the age of the teacher can be taken as the difference between the sum of the ages of all the 40 persons minus the sum of the ages of 39 persons. So teacher's age is the sum of all the 40 persons initially minus sum of all the 39 persons after the teacher has left. The sum of, we know that the average of 40 persons is 11 years. So their sum can be taken as 40 into 11 minus the average of the 39 students when the teacher leaves the group is reduced by 1. That means the average becomes 11 minus 1, 10 years. So the sum of these 39 students can be taken as 39 into 11 minus 1, since the average is reduced by 1. So by solving this, we get 440 minus 39 into 10, 390, which is equal to 50 years. So we can say that the age of the teacher is 50 years. But friends, if you try to be smart and use the concept that we have discussed earlier, the same question can be answered without writing all these steps. The point here is, we know that average age of 40 persons is 11 years. That means when the teacher was in the group, the age of each of the person can be taken as 11 years. Because we know that average is nothing but the equal distribution of the total value. So we can say that when teacher was in the group, the age of each of the person was 11 years. But once the teacher leaves the group, the average has reduced by 1. That means once the teacher comes out of the group, the average of the remaining 39 persons has decreased by 1 year each. So their age now becomes 10 years. So very clearly we can understand that the age of the teacher can be taken as 11 plus 1 into 39. Because when the teacher left the group, she came out with 11 years of her age, and at the same time she has taken 1 year from all the 39 students, because the average has reduced by 1. So we can say that the total age of the teacher should be 11 plus 39, which is equal to 50 years. Let us now take another example from the model that we have discussed, where we have to find out the average age of the group when a new person joins the group. The question here is, average age of 31 students is 11.5 years. If teacher's age is included, the average age is increased by 1. So what is teacher's age? So as you can see here, this question is quite opposite to that we have discussed in the previous case. There, the teacher leaves the group and the average decreased by 1. But here, once the teacher is included, the average age of the group is increased by 1. Now, without wasting any of the time on the conventional method, let us understand how to solve this question in a smart way. We know that the average age of 31 students is 11.5 years. So we can say that the equal distribution for all the 31 students is 11.5 years. But once the teacher joins the group, the average age is increased by 1. So the new average for 31 plus 1, that is 32 persons, the average will become 11.5 plus 1, that is equal to 12.5 years. Now, to find out the age of the teacher, we can simply use the concept of equal distribution. We know that for all these 32 persons, the age is 12.5 years each. So the teacher's age can be taken as 12.5 because she is one of the persons among these 32 persons, plus once she joins the group, she has given 1 year to each of the 31 students, and that is the reason their age has increased by 1 year. So we can say that the teacher's overall age should be 12.5 plus 1 into 31. That is nothing but the age given to each of the students. So this will be equal to 12.5 plus 31, which is 43.5. So the age of the teacher should be 43.5 years.